Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the possibility of changes to Thai tax law in 2025. First thing I would urge people to understand is, one, there has not been any change to Thai tax law. There was an intra-departmental memorandum which went out in 2023, which changed the way certain types of monies could be assessed inbound to Thailand. That is not to say that the substantive Thai tax law has changed. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of charlatans and, quite frankly, frauds and cons running around Thailand at the moment, claiming all sorts of things about Thai tax law because they're trying to drum up business on an unsuspecting public, and they're putting them in a detrimental position. As I've discussed in other videos, this talk of OECD rolling out, again, it's framed as a foregone conclusion by the so-called mainstream media, especially the English language press here in Thailand. It's not. They're talking about joining it. They may not join it. Meanwhile, everybody's freaking out because they've sent out all this documentation, which is non-mandatory, by the way, by their own lips, as I've discussed in other videos. But they've sent all this stuff out to people. They're freaking them out regarding OECD. I think OECD and tax policy are very much linked because OECD requires member countries to align their tax policies and laws to OECD in order for them to extract wealth through the foreign aid mechanism, wealth that never the country pays back, but some other interests outside of Thailand or whatever country has to deal with this supranational organization. You know, the national economy doesn't benefit thereby in any way I can see. They just extract wealth, and then they give it in foreign aid that never gets paid back, but then the Thai populace has to sit there and pay it back in terms of the national debt. So again, I don't see where this is really a great thing, but I do view these two things as linked because it requires alignment of tax policy in order to join up with this, in my opinion, rather less than optimal organization. So the point I'm trying to make in this video is, yeah, Thai tax policy could change. I don't think it's going to change abruptly because I haven't seen any promulgated laws coming down the pike that says it's going to change. Now that, I could be ignorant of this may be happening and I'm unaware of it, but I have my finger pretty close to the pulse of these things, and I'm not seeing any substantive changes in terms of promulgated law with regard to Thailand. Meanwhile, as discussed in another video, I believe it was the deputy finance minister at one point said, hey, OECD, the notion of that happening, it's going to take years. Changes to Thai tax policy I don't believe he said anything about OECD, but he did say changes to Thai tax policy would take years. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. Stop listening to the charlatans and con men who are freaking everybody out for no good reason other than the reason being their own self-aggrandizement and enrichment. The thing to be going into 2025 with an attitude of is just calm, okay? There hasn't been any major changes. You don't need to freak out, especially the retirees. Don't be super duper overwrought and worried about all of this because at the end of the day, I don't think there's going to be any major changes to begin with, and whatever happens could end up just simply being cosmetic. That being said, we'll certainly be keeping you updated on this channel as the situation evolves.